Hi guys, welcome to my channel. So today I'm going to be talking about my first time flying on an aircraft. It was a privilege to travel on an airplane for the first time. Like I said in my introduction video, I don't like traveling. Traveling is not really my thing. I prefer staying indoors. The idea of me being on transit makes me sick to the stomach every time. But I had to travel, so I was privileged to take a plane for the first time. It was a very, very nervous and frightening experience. So when we got to the airport, I had to check in my luggage. And I paid for extra luggage. I can't believe someone is only allowed to carry 20 kg on the flight. I think it's because it's an economic flight. But then, 20 kg, that's so small. We should be allowed to carry whatever we want to. I'm joking. Anyways, so I paid for extra luggage because I carried 3 bags. Although I wish I carried only 1 bag as shown in my picture. But I carried 3, unfortunately. I entered the plane and I met the air hostesses. They actually look nice in their uniforms. I wish I could be one of them. With their pop socks and their fancy gloves because of the COVID, and they were putting on their nose mask. Taking off was a huge fright to me. When it was time to take off, after everyone had finished fastening their seat belts, I held onto my seat because I was very frightened. It felt as if there was an external force pulling the plane, and your mind keeps on telling you that the plane is not on the ground, it's about to leap into the sky, and you just get frightened. I couldn't hold on to the person beside me because, well, he's a stranger and I didn't want to embarrass myself for the first time. So I just held on to my seat and closed my eyes. There was a noise in my ear and I was like, okay, if we crash, we crash. I don't know why I like talking about that, but I was seriously nervous. I wasn't scared per se, but I was really nervous. And I couldn't get the window seat, so I was sitting at the aisle. I was sitting close to the aisle. The air hostesses told the person beside the door how to work an emergency exit. The guy beside my own door was so nonchalant about it. In my mind, I was like, dude, please listen to what this lady is saying, because you are the one that is going to save us if this plane is going to crash, which it didn't. But I was so nervous. So I held on to my seat and closed my eyes and said a brief prayer in my mind. I looked around me to see whether there was anyone traveling for the first time that would be showing signs of nervousness, but everyone around me was just seated and waiting for the plane to land. There was a woman beside me breastfeeding her baby, and she wasn't a bit scared. She was just holding on to her baby and breastfeeding. The other people I could see were just sleeping. So there were 3 seats on the right hand side and 3 seats on the left hand side. It was quite small, but well, it's economy class. I think the first thing I noticed while booking the flight was that flights are actually quite cheap. They aren't that expensive, but if you check the rundown, then you see where the expenses accumulate. But the initial fare price for an adult was just 5,400 naira, which is reasonably cheap. I think I'll paste the picture somewhere in this video. While we were on the air, right, the plane kept tilting towards. I don't know how to explain it for those people that have not been on a plane before, but if you've been on a plane before, you would know what I'm talking about. The plane kept feeling as if it was tilting towards the left hand side. Sometimes you feel as if it was tilting towards the right hand side. I was so scared. I tried to sleep, but I couldn't sleep. The flight was just a 45-minute flight. What am I sleeping for? But every other person beside me were closing their eyes and I felt they were asleep. So I tried to sleep. It was super uncomfortable. I couldn't stretch my body. It wasn't so scary. I was just so nervous about flying for the first time, and I was alone. I didn't have anyone escort me on the flight, although my mother brought me to the airport and left after. So taking off was one thing, landing was another thing. When the pilot announced that we are about to land, and everybody should make sure to fasten their seatbelt. I quickly fastened mine because I had unfastened it while the plane was in the air. So I quickly fastened mine and waited for the landing. I had turned off my phone throughout the duration of the flight because, well, they say we should turn off our phone, and I didn't bother putting it on while on air because I don't know what was going to happen. I considered putting it in airplane mode alone, but then I changed my mind, so I just switched off my phone. So I couldn't listen to any music, I couldn't watch any video. I was just sitting down, closing my eyes and holding on to my seat. Landing was a better experience than taking off, I guess, because where we just landed, the plane would quickly drift on the, I think it's called the runway, I don't know, quickly drift, and then it will come to a pause and everybody came down. So it was a very successful flight, but I still do not like being in transit. Being in transit makes my stomach ache and I don't like it. So guys, thanks for watching this video. Please make sure to comment down below on your experience while flying on an aircraft for the very first time, and let me know how your reactions were. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel and turn on the post notification so you get notified whenever I post. Until next time, bye. So I entered the plane, and especially when the plane took off for the very first time. Especially when the plane took off, when the plane especially when the plane started taking off, right? The plane Jesus Christ, I can't explain this thing. I've gone off track.